Let's see. Uh, Star Citizen is streaming it on Twitch and YouTube. I am also streaming it on Twitch and YouTube as well for the watch party. And then if you need me to, I can also stream it on Discord too. Hi, everybody. I am Lord Shadow, as you all know. Um, if you're watching this later, welcome. I have some predictions that a lot of people might not have done, but I think we might see hacking and data play because of the shadow patch that gave the Herald its satellite dish. I think that we are going to see the new battle cruiser. And obviously Nyx has been talked about being the next system, I think 5 to 6 years back. I've been playing since 2013, very long time. um, I don't know why I keep bringing that up, but yeah, other people do, so why not, right? I know what kind of I'm talking about. I also think that we might see stuff about obviously base building and crafting. I think these are going to be the biggest keynotes for the Citizencon. And then we might get other fluff in there like the starting salvager ship, possibly the concierge rework. And I'm only speculating that because they've been doing stuff with concierge with the addition of the new Artemix concierge armor sets. I don't know which tier they gave that out at. I don't know if everyone got it, but you might have it. I don't know if you noticed, but it's there. Maybe. I also think that we will see stuff about maybe the Expanse because of the refining rework they were talking about with the new salvage. And I think maybe potentially stuff about the Rostar or Rasta, whatever you want to pronounce it. The not the Orion, but the one under the Orion for the mining ships. Just because they need something to talk about because there's not going to be anything about Squadron 42. But maybe more about the Von Duel because of Nyx as well. That'll be cool. So that's what I think they might be talking about for the sitcom. With the 2 hour limit time frame in mind. High push. We'll see. We are also joined by all the Star Citizens in my Discord. We got Psychosis, we got Cyber Badger, we got Kalibo, and myself currently, and people will probably come in and out all day. Yeah! Oh, good call. I'll do that too. I'm back and I got me some alcohol too. Oh, yes. Maybe. Wait. I think so. It's a safe zone though, so for science. 1 minute and 30 seconds. Also, Badger, I opened up my Smirnoff and it's perfectly fine. I got some Smirnoff Ice and Red White Berry. Yeah. Well, normally we do a drinking game, but without JT, no one else is really into it. So no, anytime they said the word like, so the first year we did it, it was a panel with John Crew, and or somebody, and it was anytime they said systemic, and that was like their hot word for the whole year. We got shit faced. Well, most of us got shit faced. Yep, meshing, server meshing, or any future technology. Uh, well, check your what the fuck's that list? Yeah, in your F2 menu, there should be a thing to like be able to check your Yeah, yeah. Right, but it has an inventory there. Oh, here we go. Oh, starting off with Chris, huh? Who's hot micing? Oh, it's you, Sai. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A little bit better, but we can still hear it. That's better. Sorry, buddy. could just mute yourself if your girl wanted to watch it too. Because his microphone is picking up it. He was having it play through his speakers. So saying he could just mute since he's not using push to talk. What's next month? What? Oh, did they say Knicks? Damn. Alright, I'm gonna stop talking and pay attention because I just missed that. That's dope. Well, it is a very small system. And it is a barren testing ground, so. I can barely hear you guys. Hold on. What were you saying? Yeah. What was that ship? Well, I don't have one, so. I'm waiting for the ironclad. Also, honestly, ships like the Paladin, all ships that they're going to talk about, is counted as a fluff. Oh, that's dope. So we get to go explore Nyx while they're adding more shit. Kind of like what they're doing right now in Stanton with the new ASD missions. That's dope. We were telling them to do that with Pyro. Yeah, we were telling. That's what we thought that what Alpha should have been. It's like we get the systems before they're pretty. You know what I mean? So we can go and check it out. Because then we can make sure if something's like not working right, we can be like, hey, this. Because I think the reason why they're doing it is because they're using the generative tech for it, and they want to see if it works with what's playing on it. I don't know. Interesting. This is fucking cool. Hmm. Having the well open the door, like in Dune. Interesting. This is probably where base building will come in play. It sounds more and more like Nyx is primed for base building. Ah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Cool little train. Like free space dolphins. Goddamn space rats. I knew they existed. Yes. Have you guys seen those ski before? It was a neat location. No, that's the blade, the glaive, and the scythe. But they're probably going to show the reworks. I have the blade, or I have the glaive and the scythe. No, they haven't shown. No, that's the blade. Oh, maybe it's not. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Nice. So imagine being a miner out there and you put out a beacon to try to call for assistance because a raiding party is happening. Cool helmets. No. Yeah. Bro, what if this is the Banu? Well, like, look at the funky armor and shit. That's like, I don't know. Yay! Good job, team. That's the first 30 minutes down. I really can't wait for the future DLC where they're going to add in more Banu ships because I want to know everything about them. That's years out. Shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. God damn. Yep, fuck me. I'll see you guys in another 10 goddamn years when I can afford one. Yo, if you guys need to go and watch the real footage. Holy shit, I'm watching it in 4K. You guys are only getting it in 1080. God damn, that looks good. And it really sucks because I know you guys don't believe me. But if you had a good enough computer and you could run it and you had Star Citizen, you would see it looks like what you're seeing. Yep. I'm trying to explain to my stream that the game actually does look this beautiful and basically get a good enough PC and get the game, and trust me, bro. But it does. It just makes me want to take my $500 spaceship with the camping tent, go into the ground, and spend a night in the camping tent to hunt a deer. Oh, it's beautiful. It's cool. Good job, guys. Everyone always asks, what does almost $1 billion game look like? Here you go. I think, birthmark or a mole. He's always had it. It kind of looks like a little turtle if you, like, zoom in on it. Because it's got 4 little feet and a little round head and a little pointed tail. I did not mean to offend anybody. I was... Never mind. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna apologize. I can't not see it. I'm sorry. I'm horrible. It's a good guy. Good work. It's very beautiful. It's very beautiful. Like, everyone gets all pissed off because they bought or they built a fancy thing for their building, right? But really, construction, it's not expensive. It's probably less than 100 grand. Way less than 100 grand that they probably used to get that shit. Like, no other game looks like this when you play them. Like, this is what you get for the money that we've given them. Like, it's awesome. Woo. Wow. I'm fucking ranting and I'm not meaning to. Roxy boy, what are you doing? What are you doing over there, handsome boy? Hey, I can see you. I know you're trying to be. Yeah, I can see you. He's trying to be sneaky, like I can't see him, and he just looks at me. He's like, "Oh, what a weird cat." Hey, what are you doing down there now? Go on. Oh, back up there. All right. He's doing weird shit. I don't like him back there. That's the back end of my PC. Where is his ball? Or one of his springs? Oh. So we'll get grassy fields instead of fucking rocky death traps? Or fucking ice mine haven? Oh. To also calculate for erosion. This is beautiful. Finally. Did you guys just see that six-wheel truck? Eh. No. No, that wasn't the link. That was too... That was too... No, that was rounder. On, like, upper. Eh. Alright. Crushing dreams. So rude. It's so good, dude. It's so good, dude. Fog and... Oh! I can't. The cows are grazing. Yeah. That's gonna be fun to drive on. Are you kidding me? I might have to go grab all my bikes back. Oh, look at that javelin. Yeah. Well, without the rocks being all over glitchy everywhere, you know? Maybe this will help fix the mesh. Yeah. Because I'm thinking what was happening is there's rocks underneath the surface where, like, it was a weird angle, so it'd, like, poke up and fuck with the wheels. Yep. Yep, and Pyro, yep. Look at that scar, dude. Oh, that's sick. I'm gonna make a base in that scar. I'm claiming it, people. That scar's mine. I'll fight for it. Give me something to work for, and I'll get it done too. If they add base building soon, oh, yay! I still want to know if you can load a Hull C with stuff you refine, drop it off at a station with the auto load, and be able to pick it up again with it and transport it to another place. That's what I've been waiting for. So I could start mining and just hauling out massive quantities of shit with my Hull C. I'll have to test it. Hey, Lev. Welcome, everybody. This is Citizencon. It's live ish. Um, it's one of the games that I love. You guys just missed a huge panel about the environment and how beautiful it's going to look. Oh, fuck. Not the ads. Ooh. That looks cool. What's going on, buddy? Oh, this probably looks so nerdy from your guys' perspective. It's a space sim that basically can do whatever you want to do. Like, if you want to be a gunner on a ship, or ground crew for security, or security on you can be. Whatever the fuck you want to do. It's basically just hanging out in space, like you're playing GTA 5, but in space, with no limit of what you can do. But so every year, this is our event. Normally, it's held in person, where you buy tickets. It's like a 2-day event. This year, it's a live 2-hour feed, because they're too busy working on Squadron 42, the single player version of this game, first. And they're close to getting that hashed out. We're thinking either the end of this year or the beginning of next year that'll be released. So that'd be cool. So that's what this is. We are just here getting new information about a game that we love. Maybe like instead of like that big multi-tool, it's a big hand laser. That's a Citadel chess piece. I can't find the pants for that set anymore. Makes me big sad. Don't blame him, okay? He's just a developer. What the hell? Oh, to crack that the big asteroid. Oh, dude. What the fuck? What the hell? Oh, dude. I love industry stuff. I have mining ships, industrial mining ships. This is my patch. I've been waiting for this patch. I knew they had to redo mining, so this is dope. I'm nerding out pretty hard because this is definitely my type of patch. I am an industrialist, sir. I like mining. Yes, it is. And that's why I have an Inferno. Yeah. Yep. So it makes sense why Nix is a barren place. We're gonna be mining, so we're gonna be basically bringing the industry into Nix because of us building bases out there and making goods. So traders are gonna come out and they're gonna want that's probably what they're gonna do, is make lore that we the players brought civilization back to Nix or something, maybe. I don't. Well, not that far. And that's all me just talking off my ass, but something of the like. You know what I mean? Like bigger corporations. They just cut something. Did you guys notice that? Probably talking too much. I'm a little high. And I had alcohol. But I have hydration. Oh! Hey, plushy alien for a Von Duel. That's a huge looking drill head thing. That is a drill head. Oh, his character in game. Stupid. Oh! Melissa ate all my donuts, guys. God damn. She didn't even throw away the bag. Rude. Rude. Oh my god. Uh-oh. Badger, hold me. I need an adult. It's a beautiful ship. It flies really well. Also a really good ship for mining. I use it. I take it in my Polaris. I use the Polaris as a station. Well, paladin. I love the music too with it. The trumpet or the horn, whatever it is. Oh, that's cool. To cover blind spots. Probably flies like a hammerhead almost. Ooh. Finley! It's sleek looking. No audio. Yeah, I just saw your message.
Weapons,
with the exception of the single size 5 gun.
because it was too well integrated into the whole, even for Spearia to remove.
All the additional weapons are
Thank you.
generic mounts, so they can be swapped with any of the existing lineup that we have in the game. By doing this, it provides greater flexibility to the end user, and this is something Xperia wanted for the civilian market. For that one bespoke weapon, the size 5
I am
plasma
sorry,
cannon,
everybody. Holy shit.
functionally it is the same as the existing size 5 plasma cannons on the side.
You know, it just came and told me that you guys had no audio. I am so sorry.
And wraps it in a different aesthetic compared to those models. You'll see they're very much older Vandal styling. This is much newer Vandal styling. But underneath it is the same weapon that people have used for years.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Our job
like
as
that.
the vehicle art team on the PU was to take the Stinger from the squadron team and prepare it for life in the PU. We took an opportunity to take, you know, this really well-established art style and, you know, add extra details where needed.
So the exterior is a real
I've
blend
just
of
been
these
sitting
kind of
here
hard surface, kind of rare
staring at a
alloyed
screen to you
wings,
guys. I'm
and then
so
underneath this
sorry.
real kind of organic structure that kind of webs all of the ship together. You know, it connects the thrusters in, it connects all the kind of underside of the vehicle and
But
pulls the whole ship
Go
together.
check
You can
out
tell it's very
Star
different
Citizen
from
after this.
the Vandal ships that are
And
currently in
you
the
can watch
PU.
this
If
video
you take, for
yourself.
example, the way the cockpits are constructed.
Up
Recommend
at
it.
the front, we've got this big kind of bubble dome that gives the cockpit quite a unique shape compared to some of our other ships, and also gives the pilot a unique position within the ship and kind of gives great visibility out the front.
Boarding the Stinger is a little unusual compared to other ships, obviously being alien in nature.
You're going through a ramp at the rear, and it leads you kind of straight up into the belly of the ship.
There's,
Oh,
you know,
man.
lots of organic
The
detail,
ribcage opening
rib
up.
cages, kind of strange alien forms.
On entry of the cockpit, the seat kind of comes down towards you, and you kind of climb over the back of it a bit like a motorbike.
You're basically riding into the cockpit. It feels very much like you're being like carried inside the cockpit.
Into the traditional prone flying pose that Vandal pilots use.
So in other words,
Very
getting
happy
in
with
and
this thing.
out
I think the
takes
team
about
done a
20
really good
minutes.
job of making something
Yeah.
that feels different, it feels alien, but it suits our lineup of ships and it suits our universe.
I think the guys did a really good job of respecting the, you know, the direction and vision from the original Stinger and Vandal ships in Squadron.
We've tried to take a lot of inspiration from movies and other science fiction material, but I think it sits well within the Star Citizen universe.
So we have the Paladin for the People's Alliance. We have the Stinger for people that really like Vandal and want to try and pretend to be them. But what about the other mysterious faction we have running around?
So Gray Chowdhury got his start as he was working at a cargo center out in Odin. He started being able to get his hands on some stuff that other people couldn't, items that necessarily you couldn't find on a store shelf, but you wanted anyway.
I think Gray is interested in, happy customers. Gray just sees themselves as a conduit to get these things in the hands of people who are would appreciate them.
And I think that his latest offering is really going to turn some heads.
So the Shiv, well, we don't really know what it is, to be fair.
It's what happens when someone who is a genius at aeronautics and ship assembly is given free rein to do whatever they want. It's the best of whatever they can find
Atlas
lying
2.0?
around, put together to make something truly unique, wonderful, arguably beautiful, and just released out into the universe to see what happens.
I fuck
At
with
first
it.
glance at the exterior
I
of the
fuck
ship,
with it
I
kinda
think
hard.
Most people will probably recognise
It's the, like,
there
most
is
Drake
more than a
Drake
fair
ship
proportion of
ever.
the Cutlass
Yeah.
visible there, but it's had quite a few changes to it.
As you look a little bit closer, you'll start to pick out elements from other ships. You've
Oh,
got
yeah,
you know, main thrusters that are from the Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Even the bits that are obviously a Cutlass have had panels welded on, panels removed. The top turret, which is now remote,
Dude, that
is
thing's
just this
gotta be hauling
hodgepodge amalgamation
ass.
of multiple other ships' turrets. And then the changes continue onto the inside, where
It's just
again
a
it
chop
sort
shop
of feels Cutlass-like, but then you'll find
combination.
there's bits of Crusader ships just
Recycled.
integrated.
It's
into
like
the
putting
wall
a
when you
Cummings
say
in
what
a
was there
Vespa.
originally.
It has lost its side entrance, some of its cargo capacity.
Redneck
but what it's
ingenuity.
gained is it's gained visually more powerful thrusters. It's gained a really kind of nice set of belly thrusters. It's upped its firepower.
As ever, with the refined work from Gray's Market, you can see that great care was taken to the health and safety to ensure that there's no trip hazards anywhere.
There's like loose cables, panels are exposed. If you look carefully, you'll notice there are like tools laying around in the cockpit.
It's gained a toilet.
Ship bucket.
Bucket.
Yeah, it's one for doing stuff, and then you need a second one to wash your hands. It's not an animal.
It has very much taken that ethos of Drake and moved it down a level, which I think is quite an achievement.
Just look at this thing. How do you even begin to describe the madness that created this? It's the
So
ship.
Frankenstein, yeah. That's
More
great.
Drake than Drake.
Yeah.
This is something new and different for Star Citizen. Where did it come from?
I'm not going to answer that.
Just
Nope.
nothing. Just
No comment.
Gray goes to places and talks to people. I mean, you know, there are just many ways to find these things that, you know, I mean, are they legitimate, you know, manufacturers? No. Are they operating on the right side of the law? Maybe not, but, you know, money's money.
Does Gray have a motto, an ethos to live by?
It probably comes down to, don't ask where I got it.
Don't ask how we got it.
Don't worry about it. Just ask if you want it.
I think the ship is for someone that is looking for something a bit different, a bit away from the norm, that just wants something that's unique.
It's definitely for people who like a rustic aesthetic.
It's a fun ship, but it's also really strong, to be honest, and it's absolutely a statement.
It's crazy.
I'm happy with the 3 ship offerings. They are obviously very combat heavy.
There's something we wouldn't normally release all at once, but honestly, all of them are a different statement, and they're all cool.
As always, super excited to release these ships into the game and just see how players react and play with them. It's always fun to see the quirks and the shenanigans that people get up to with them. So that's Talking Ship for another year.
Yeah, you gotta do the things like that. No, talking about it.
Did he just say galaxy?
So I've just been informed that we have to do a bit of a
Need something
timeshare
big.
agreement this year. So we have to throw it over to Alexi for Talking Weapons, which is
Oh,
an
Lexi.
extremely original name.
The Space AK.
I'm talking about the new edition that come out in October. The non-weapons are essentially the weapons that does not have a manufacturer, the weapons that you can think of that were made by space pirates.
Gray sells whatever he can sell.
Sometimes he gets his hands on some weapons that come from unknown origins.
He will sell things that no company in their right mind would ever make.
These are the most kind of like scrappy and taped together and the most
Oh,
kind
these
of
are
like
gonna be right up Si's
pyro-ish
alley with war
weapons
crimes.
that you can think of.
Right now we're releasing 3 new weapons. Rocket launcher, the LMG, and the long-awaited Space AK.
Fun.
I think this is the one that
Chunky, bruh.
not only is the most in demand, but I've been politely badgered about the most. It's a fun rifle that basically fires energy and ballistic in sequence. So your first shot will be your ballistic, your second shot will be the energy. You'll see on the top of the arc,
What?
there is
What
a
the
bolt
fuck?
that cycles the rounds, and
Dual
that
ammo?
goes off with the ballistic shot, but it does not go off with the energy shot. And that is just like a really fun way of making a weapon work in kind of like a scrappy,
That thing is gonna be
glued
broken.
together kind of aesthetic.
That's just gonna be so OP.
It's
The
gonna be
LMG
so
this
broken in
thing is a
PvP. I
really
can't
fun,
wait.
slow
It's like,
firing,
well, ships can
hard
use
hitting
ballistics and
beast.
lasers. Why not a
If you bring
handheld?
the 50 cal, and the only other weapons that have this right now in the verse are the bearing sniper rifle and the Coda.
Honestly, if you
my
even get
God.
hit by one,
What?
just instant tier 1 injury.
Is that a
back to
50
medical.
LMG?
A 50 cal
Are you
LMG.
even trying that?
I found my
You know
new
what?
LMG.
Maybe
Fuck
these
the
are
laser
really
bullshit.
complicated,
I must have
fancy
it.
guns.
Chunka,
and
chunka.
people that just want, I want a slow firing rifle. Give me a scrap together box that fires the biggest thing you can possibly find.
We don't have a rocket launcher of this caliber. It will be
Yeah,
three
I'll
grenades
fuck with
straight
that.
together.
Both
That's
of
all
them.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god!
fire towards you, and that's the cool part about
Yeah,
it.
that works.
It will have a distance,
Yeah, just
so
stay
you
with
will
it
not
together,
be
it's
able to
fine.
Just point it towards an enemy.
So it's going to have a lot of spread. So essentially,
Literally
you're gonna have to
duct
get
tape.
very close with your launcher to be able to
Jeez.
blow up ships with a single payload in it. You can't actually aim the apparatus because you've got the tube on your shoulder. And you try to aim it, you have to physically put the tube
aimless
in your
fucking
head.
law.
So we were
Jesus
like,
Christ.
oh, we can't have an aim apparatus for this. And then we realized like, it's in the spirit of being a tube that you can't use the aiming apparatus, and you just kind of like, all right, I think that's the middle of the screen. I'm gonna hit it.
It's in the spirit of being a tube.
Binoculars?
Ooh.
Are we gonna talk about binoculars?
Yes.
Binoculars are really cool. We don't have anything like this in the verse, and I think it will be really convenient to use something that's dedicated to look for the things, especially far away, instead of using your sniper scope, for example.
Will the binoculars have glint?
I'm not aware of this one. Probably not, because binoculars are not something that you need to be aware of.
It's really funny because obviously, due to glint gate, as you know, I beautifully internally call it, basically there was a lot of community feedback basically saying like, oh, I really like spotting people. I really like playing a spotter. And essentially I was like, oh, this community wants to be able to spot people from distances. And what can we make gadget-wise that doesn't require new features? And it was like, binoculars. And I prototyped a thing which essentially was just a scope in a hand, and it worked. So we've got some really cool binoculars coming that allow you to spot people from distances.
Oh, so it's like
And
a
how much damage
Oh,
do
it's
the
range
binoculars
rangefinder.
do?
Got a damn
Depends on how you
hangnail.
throw them.
Yeah, I think they need more like personal gadgets. That's cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alexi.
I'm
and
glad
Zach.
they are
That's
actually coming out.
the end
with
of
that.
this segment for this year, so that's talking ship and weapons, unless anyone else is going to come and tell me something else. It's been an exciting year, and I think the next year of ships is going to be even more exciting and expansive than this year.
The ship layout wasn't really.
Well. That is an eclectic bunch of combat ships for the verse, and they're all available right now up on the robertsspaceindustries.com store. Also, any minute now, there's going to be a PTU drop that includes all three, so you can fly them now ahead of their release next week when Alpha 432 goes live. 3 combat ships. I wonder if they'll have any additional uses coming up later in the show. That's a hint. All right, what else can I shill? Oh, there's merch. We've got these cool new Levski desk mat things. These are always popular. There's some Levski metal posters on the store, and of course, love them or hate them, but you can't avoid them. There's this cool new Wickelow's Emporium t-shirt.
Yes!
Yeah. There's also a page published earlier today with a bunch of links to offerings from our third-party partners, from eye trackers to gaming chairs to voice packs to spaceship models from new partners like Planet Ring and Pigeon Spaceport and more. You can find all of that on the RSI website as well. And what else can I shill? Oh, for those of you who are at watch parties, where is it? Challenge coins. Who doesn't love challenge coins? There's these
Oh.
lovely Levski-themed challenge coins if you're attending one of the 9 official watch parties around the world. There's also a digital one of these in the goodies pack, so you check those out. Don't leave today without getting your Levski challenge coin. All right, what else can I show? Now I'm kind of tired of shilling. All right, let's find out some more about where we are. Simon, can we move? Can we do? Oh, yeah. Look at that. Okay, here we go. Pardon me. Here we go. Excuse me. Hi. How you doing? Hey, that was my best angle. Hey, I got to be careful. Last year I took 3 steps and tore a muscle. All right, so this is the 9th floor of CIG Manchester's Manchester office. That's yoo-hoo! This is the room where we have lunch every day, and if you get here early enough,
Those lucky
croissants,
bastards.
if the weapons team hasn't stolen all of them. Over here, we got
Looks
some
beautiful.
cool mannequins representing different aspects of the game. You got the ever-present, Hurston security armor over here. That's really cool.
But I'm also
You got your
salty.
Dusters armor.
'Cause you know
right
some of our
here.
money went to that.
You got this guy from a game that we're not talking about today. Marine armor, yeah, it's all pretty cool. And then when you come over here, got a nice little recreation area. There's some sim pits over there for people who need to test that kind of stuff. We got this cool Krigeri Bengal carrier.
Oh my
Come
God.
over here, shoot it. Go down the nose here. Watch this. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna go over here. Can you see me? Hi, Mom. All right. So yeah, and what are you doing, Richard Towler? All right. I thought John went to Washington, D.C. Let's see, what else we got? We got cool Voyager bar here. This is where we get all kinds of breakfast goodies, coffee, stuff like that. Hey, who remembers the big coffee controversy of 2016 where everybody took to Reddit and pondered the question, do devs deserve coffee? I do. You want to see what next year's big controversy is? Check this out. I'm going to come over here. Do devs deserve coffee? Welcome to the Stargarita machine. Yeah.
That's so fucking
Do
cute.
devs deserve frozen deliciousness? I don't know. Go to Reddit and let us know. All right, let's see. Let's go over here. Competition. Oh, competition winners. We have the list of competition winners. Can we put that on the screen? Yeah, sorry, competition winners. Remember the competition for the Citizencon winners? The people made the videos, and we gave them a Kruger L21 Wolf. We actually have the names. They're behind me. Look. All right, that's cool. Also, everybody's got food. Do I have food here? Oh, somebody's supposed to save me pizza. All right, so we got. Oh, you guys saved me a lot of pizza. Let's see. There's like 3 different kinds of pizza here. What if we just combine them into like a challenger situation here? That's a Citizencon throwback if you're not familiar with. So I have now crafted my own pizza experience. And that is a terrible segue into our next segment. Gemma, can we, Gemma, are you there?
Yes, Jared.
Can we fire up the FPS crafting segment while I try to chew this off camera?
Oh.
Sure can. Roll, BT.
Crafting.
Want it now. Want it now.
Star Citizen, at its heart, will always be an enormous sandbox experience where you can set out to tackle the universe in whatever ways you want. But that doesn't mean we can't shape parts of the universe
I
here
got
and
a
there to
paladin.
better suit our needs. That goes for both you and us. Let's start this part of the show with a look at how crafting is going to change everything from resource
How much
gathering,
is the
refining,
Van Duel ship,
and even combat
Stinger?
when it comes online
315.
in the next few months.
Damn.
Yeah, I could have got that.
Is
I just
gonna
upgraded
be
my
quite
Apollo
small
to it.
in scale. We're going to use it as a kind of a concentrated effort to allow the players to experience the initial UI, the flow of gathering materials that have different quality, and using those to craft items which are better than what they have currently in the game.
The first version is going to be primarily FPS items that you can craft, weapons and armor. For Star Citizen, crafting is our primary progression mechanic. Star Citizen isn't your standard MMO. We don't have levels. We have ships, we have gear, we have things that you create in the world, you perfect, you research, you improve, and those items, those ships, those vehicles, the armor and weapons, that's how you progress in Star Citizen. Crafting isn't just a progression mechanic for creating new items, it's also a fundamental change to how we handle resources in the game. The materials that you collect, how you refine them, quality matters.
Crafting the weapons, you'll be able to have some quality materials to influence the item stats on those weapons.
It'll be somewhat random, potentially weighted on the location of the material. Some will have a higher chance of higher quality. And once you take those materials to your crafting bench, the fabricator, you can use them to craft, and the different attributes will be increased based on the quality of the materials you use. It's not just iron ore anymore, it's iron ore of the quality that you know will get you the stats for the item that you desire. And it's not just mining, it's essentially every resource we can get our hands on.
To support this, we also need major changes to inventory so that all of these new resources that you're collecting, you can see what you have, you can order it better, you can understand what you have in your
they're doing
inventory.
a quality system.
We won't have the new refining crafting system yet. We'll be using the existing ones.
Yeah.
Those will pass the quality through into the refined materials, which you can then take to your crafting machine and start making your personal items. Once you have your blueprint and your quality materials that you've refined, then you can put them together on the item fabricator. This will be pretty much what we showed in last year's Citizencon, with the UI letting you assign your quality resources to different aspects of the item. Once you're happy with what you see on the preview, you'll be able to click to craft, and it'll get queued up, and your result will be produced sometime later. You'll be able to get the new crafting machine from shops in most landing zones. You'll be able to bring it up on your freight elevator and use it in your personal hangar, or tractor beam it around and stick it on a ship if you want to use it from there.
There'll be a small amount of blueprints you get credited to your account just to test and mess around, but the vast majority of them will be earned through missions, and then you can use that blueprint to craft the item that it is that you've got the blueprint for. So it should be a good reason to go and test all the different various missions in the game.
The advantage of crafting your own items is that they'll be better than anything that you could buy from shops. You'll be able to increase and improve item stats that are relevant to your gameplay. Maybe your gun will shoot faster, maybe it'll do some more damage, or your armor will have greater resistances against environmental effects or incoming fire. You might be wondering, what about the upgrade and research? That will be coming in a subsequent release. We're happy with this initial scope for crafting.
It's going to be so valuable for us as devs to kind of get the metrics in, get the feedback in, because then we can make the changes that, you know, they only become obvious, so to speak, when you have kind of mass amounts of data and mass amounts of users using it. So I'm very excited to get it out in the wild.
It's our intention to get crafting out on tech preview by the end of the year and get the testing we need so we can release it when it's ready.
So that's one way you'll be crafting your own experiences in the Star Citizen universe. But what about us? Where do we get to hone in and craft a bespoke experience here and there, specifically tailored to individual or small group play? Well, that's where instancing comes in. And I'm going to let Benji tell you a little bit more.
We're bringing instancing to Star Citizen in 2026. Why are we doing it, and how will it work? So if you've played any content in 2025 in Star Citizen, you know that most of these areas were in actual PvP zones where other players could interfere. Instancing is a means to create an environment where designers can create tailored content that's tuned to a specific group size, but it is also protected from outside interference. It's not to say that we don't love PvP. I'm a PvP guy. PvP me, bro. But like most MMOs, a good balance between a dangerous overworld and a protected instances is needed. Right now, we don't have this ability, and this is something we really need in order to give you a sense of progression that is tailored and balanced to a tunable amount of groups, so the difficulty matches the group size. There's a beginning and an end. It doesn't mean that that doesn't fit in our overworld strategy, meaning getting to the instance is dangerous, exiting the instance is dangerous, or can be interfered with others. But at least when you're playing the content, we can actually make something that's curated for one experience. So before anybody says this is only a PvE thing, this technology can also be applied to unlock curated PvP experiences that are as seamless as the PvE ones. So it's not about one thing or the other. It's really about unlocking developers' ability to create curated content. So that said, how will it work? Instancing is really an evolution over static to dynamic meshing. We want your instances to be as seamless as your instance hangars, meaning that when you take an elevator, you exit the elevator, you're inside the instance. A gateway opens, you cross that gateway, you're now into your instances. Could be also a quantum jump into an instance that you don't even see. The transition is just like a dynamic mesh transition. And so throughout the universe, we will be able to add these areas that are open or closed instances that allow you to join in either with a party and have a reserved instance for your party, or join an open instances that has a number of slots. And so some of those areas will be completely instanced on different servers. This allows us to leverage the compute power of the entire mesh. The closed ones will be really to drive one piece of content. You enter and exit seamlessly, just like we do with your
I'm not
instance.
sure how I feel about that.
Let's go and find out what one of our first instances will be.
Siege of Arzen was an event we did previously, which created a gameplay scenario where the player had to run through and progress through contested islands of Arzen. This was a high-paced, high-intensity event, but it struggled a little bit from its technical execution. But now with the introduction of instancing, it gives us an opportunity to evolve it and modify it and make it better for you in a small group to work through that activity.
It is an event that I had the honor of pretty much solely designing and building all of the logic and having the stress of trying to get it working.
Agent Dooley from the CDF puts the call out for volunteers because basically the Nine Tails have taken over sort of a cluster of floating platforms in Orison.
And you are there to kill these sort of lieutenants of this terrorist organization and take back control. So in our current thinking, Siege of Orison is designed for about a 15 to 20 people fire team. So you, your friends, or your org will go in, you'll all have sort of dedicated roles. Some of you might be the tank who brings in the heavy weapons and sort of pulls the fire. Some of you might sit at the back and be the sniper and pick people off who are a bit further to make the advance easier. Some of you will be the medic whose sole job is going to be revive and look after the rest of your team and the health of them. And some of you will be the people who push for the objectives to try and get sort of most of the mission done. The event was designed for about 15 to 30 people, but when we released it, we fixed the problem with 2 DGSs on one server that was fighting for resources. And with that, we also upped the player count to 100. So when it first debuted, it was already too full for what it was designed for.
It was a massive operation at the time. I think that bringing it back and giving it a refresher will be a fantastic addition back into the PU.
So imagine if Siege was a instance that you could go in and play solo, or if it was a public event that you could go with your friends, or you could join up with random players on the server. There's lots of ways that we want to take a look at Siege, how we can make it a more approachable piece of content.
I'm excited, to say the least, to bring back Siege of Orison to Star Citizen and to sort of have it be one of the first tests that we have for instancing and really get it back to sort of a core experience point where it should be. So while the next season is quite heavily focused on Nyx, I'm also very happy that we're not really ignoring our other 2 systems of Standard and Pyro, and we're going back there and we're sort of improving and expanding on the player's life in those 2 systems as well.
Yes.
It kind
while
of gives
things
you a
like
plan
Genesis,
event, because then it can be like,
Interstellar
hey,
Horn,
let's go
crafting,
hit up
Siege of Origin,
an orchard,
and
a
more will
orchard
reveal
siege or
next
something.
year will continue to bring life into the existing universe outside of Nyx. There's still one more exciting use for instancing we're building right now. It's an earlier look than normal, and some of it is still in white box, but we're excited to share the first look at a major content release of 2026.
The underground
and what
stuff?
it means for progression-based gameplay. As an evolution of our building interior initiative, you won't discover it by accident, because when it's complete, it will be found deep within the heart of Levski itself. This is the Municipal Works.
Yep. Nice.
So inside the facility, you'll find huge vaporization chambers, old processing plants, industrial tunnels, and eventually into the old turbines which are still pumping heat into the old rock.
So this is the true story of Levski. This is a place where you won't see in Lorville, you won't see in I-18 or the other landing zone. It's the pure basis of Levski. You will have, of course, metal and tunnels and more structural place, but you will also see a lot of rock and cave. So it's not a place you go to take vacation. It's really a place you go to fix stuff.
Not everybody has what it takes to come down there and do the job that needs to be done.
All of your sewage systems have stopped working. Everything's going to quite literally. And so the player is tasked with their group, most likely, to go into there, take out the outlaws, and get the facility working again.
So let me get this straight. This is literally a mission to fix the toilets of Levski.
It's not just the toilets. You're also trying to turn on the air. Air is a bit more important. It still works in Levski, but they have maybe polluted air because it's not being cleared properly. It's not just for the toilet.
Poop mission.
It's also a little bit more
go.
exciting than just going into some
Poop
vents.
gameplay. Janitor
It's like a
mission,
free-load system where
confirmed.
there's 3 chapters.
I'm a janitor. Let's
Well,
do
the
it.
Mist Razor, remember?
Mission-driven and repeatable. Everything from mining,
You can get one
salvage,
for
to
enough,
combat, to investigation,
referrals
a
now.
variety of roles. Narratively, it's a real
I love
sandbox.
the Razor.
Every progression you do will unlock a new area that will link back to previous areas, complexifying the play space.
We've been wanting to have more gameplay around landing zones for a long time. Now that we have instancing tech coming online, that allows us to do something that provides really cool gameplay close to a landing zone.
With the missions, that's what will create different overlays or change the spaces or change the progression, but it'll be the instancing which will enable us to create tailored content to you and your group. So you're going to be able to play a part of it, make your progress, and then log off. And then the next time you come online, you'll be able to pick up where you left off.
It's going to allow players to return back to it at different states, depending on how much you've progressed, and be able to keep it going until you've reached sort of the end of the whole 3 chapters.
Where you're not going to have other people getting in your way. It's you, your team, your party.
It's a way of giving players content where they know exactly where they're at and they can keep going back to it and improving sort of their own progress and ability to jump through them in faster and faster times as well.
So that's a look at how we'll be allowing players and developers alike to create more crafted experiences within the greater sandbox of the persistent universe. Okay, is that it for me at this point, Jared?
Almost. Throw it back to me, and I've got one more for you after this.
Back to you, Jared.
Everybody's really excited about the year ahead. So that's a brief look at some of the ways in which we're allowing you and our developers to craft a more curated Star Citizen experience. Now, at this point in the show, we are in the home stretch. We've got only one more segment to go. But before we do that, we wanted to check out, we said earlier in the show that we would look at what you were saying during the show. We looked at how to put YouTube comments on the stream, and it was immediately apparent that we were going to lose our broadcast license, so we're not going to do that. We did find some social media stuff on Twitch, though, or not
No
Twitter,
shit.
X. What is it called now? Let's see what this says. Let's see. We've got Welcome Back Levski from, I'm not wearing my glasses. Oh, no. Oh, time to suit up. Let's go get him, says Ubu. I really should have worn my glasses. Cue the bagpipes. That's the other game, Charlie Oscar. Let's see. Nice to see you live, Jared. Mom? Let's see. First Citizencon after playing for almost a decade in Austin. Oh, nice. Straight out of Klesher, back to the Hex. Photos from Leicestershire. How do you say it? Is that Leicestershire? Leicester? Leicester? Geez, I've only been in the UK for 3.5 years. San Jose Bar Citizen Watch Party. Oh, somebody created a lovely Vandal mask there. Sean Tracy, can we get that in game? Just that, exactly. Just scan that, put that in game. All right, so that's a few reactions we're seeing on social media right now. Before we get to our big finale, or the thing we're going to wrap up the show with today, I did want to talk a little bit about big Citizencon versus digital Citizencon versus what we're doing today, which is Citizencon Direct. Every year, Citizencon is a monumental task for any number of people, whether that's development, marketing, the support teams, the platform teams. Everybody comes together to make this thing happen and go off, hopefully without a hitch. And so far, we've been doing all right, other than some stuff in the room here. You know who you are. They had to know it. But doing Citizencon is not always the easiest thing for our developers. You might not assume this, but most game developers are not social butterflies. They tend to like to sit quietly in the dark at their computers, like little goblins, and just make digital virtual worlds like this. And then I come in all happy and like, hey, you want to be on video? And they're like, no. And I'm like, it's in your contract. And they're like, oh yeah. So we thought, we usually do it behind the scenes afterwards, but we thought we'd do a little bit of it here. The folks in the editorial department put together a brief montage of some of the more candid moments from the filming of Citizencon over the last couple of weeks. So we're going to spend 2 minutes and take a look at that. Let's see what they put together.
How many Citizencons have you performed in now?
Performed? Just the one.
Nope, my first one.
One last year.
2.
A few.
8 or 9? Maybe 9 or 10?
Never.
Man, I don't know, man.
Did you like doing it?
Yes, I was completely terrified.
It was good, a bit stressful.
The first live one, I was a mess.
Weird combination of going from insane highs to insane lows.
Live ones.
Because?
It's over.
The live ones are pretty special.
Pre-tap's always fun, but the live events are special, aren't they?
Remember we were at that weird crack house in Ancos?
I like the live ones.
I mean, I love these digital ones. These are the best.
Every time I've done it, it has been a digital one, and I'd like to do one on stage.
Is it because you have a restraining order against you, or?
Didn't know if I was going to be sick, if I was going to lose my stomach.
How hard is it to keep your eyes open on stage?
That's another problem with the lights. Yeah, they're kind of, I'm realizing through this sentence that I'm closing my eyes as I speak. Do I do that a lot?
I am a very shy individual, so this is me just trying to get out of my shell.
Getting the crowd to react to the ideas that we've been working on for so long.
We can react. Watch. Everybody.
Yay!
Yay!
I can feel your passion from here.
The head on that guy.
Counting you down in like 30 seconds. I'm like, do I stand up? Do I sit down? Do I drink? Do I not? Do I talk?
This will be the best one yet. That's right. Because it's nice and short.
Is this all supposed to be usable content? Because I could do it different.
No. Of all your nicknames, why is Moist Master your favorite?
I think you mean least favorite because it has the word moist in it. I mean, come on.
We'll give you a new nickname by the end of this.
Sounds good. Could do
All
with
right.
one.
Let's get started.
So for those of you watching at home or at the watch parties, you're like, why are we showing that? I put that in there because I'm eternally grateful for all of the CIG staff and developers who take the time to appear on these things, whether it's ISE, SCL, Citizencon, walk on stage, be pre-recorded. It's not the easiest thing for everybody. And on behalf of the community, if I can speak for them in this regard, I want to say thank you for participating in these things each and every year that we have them. Now, let's wrap things up here. So, let's see, how do I want to do this? At this point, we've only got one major story left to tell. But before we do that, we wanted to do one more check-in on something we started last year. Last year, Rich Tyler took the stage and presented his roadmap to 1.0. And we didn't want to go an entire year without talking to the senior game director himself to get his update on that 1 year later. So we're going to throw it to him, and we're going to go to our last segment, and when we come back, we'll say our goodbyes. And if you're at a watch party, it's time to get... I was going to say... that's not a word I can say on camera. Let's just go. Let's just throw it back to me. Go to me from 1 week ago. Last year, Senior Game Director Rich Tyler took to the stage and revealed our plan for 1.0. Now, before we end this year's Citizencon Direct, we wanted to take a few moments and follow up on that reveal from last year, to do as we've done today and look at the year ahead. So, Rich, thanks for taking the time to join us.
Well, you're welcome.
All right, so we're going to jump right into it. Everybody knows the only constant in game development is change. So I'm going to ask you outright, what's changed about the road to 1.0?
Well, fortunately nothing. It still remains our North Star. The team is busy working towards that goal in the background, and every patch this year has moved us towards that goal. And if you haven't watched the Star Citizen 1.0 presentation from last year, I highly recommend you do so, because everything in it is still relevant as of today.
You mentioned every patch this year has moved us towards that goal, so I want to dig deeper into that. We've done, at this point, 9 releases in this year, more than any year prior. How does each one of these not just sit as their own moment in time, but move us forward on this road to 1.0?
Well, last year I discussed the framework of 1.0, how all those complex systems can tie together. And one of the core aspects of that was the main story, which became the spine of the universe, which brought all of the locations, mission givers, guilds, and all the different areas of the game to the players. Now, what I didn't talk about from last year was all of the content that was going to support that framework, add the flesh to the bones, should we say. And I think that's where this year has moved us towards that goal. If you think about previous events of previous years, they've generally been locations that we've put into the verse, but they've been transient. We've taken them away, like Siege of Orison or Zenithreat. We've added them to game, and then they've been moved away. And I think with the addition of the patches this year, when you look at the Hathor facilities, Onyx facility, these are permanent additions to the world that not only have their own story, as when we release them with the patches, but they'll also become points of interest and areas that the larger 1.0 narrative will utilize.
Since we're on story, I'm going to stay with this here. Since we launched the PU back in 2015, it's always been this sandbox where players can do what they want. They can bring their own story to the verse, and that'll never change. But how important is it that we also build this concurrent narrative of our own, this crafted experience, if you will, alongside that?
Well, we're trying to create a living, breathing universe. And that includes both the player stories that you mentioned, that they can go and enjoy and create their own memories together. But it also means that we want to have a universe that gives back. We want areas and locations to feel like they're believable and real-life locations. And if you look throughout this year and the patches that we've worked towards, we've had an overarching story that's moved from patch to patch, and we're going through some of those cycles right now. We've also been introducing mission content that has fully voiced dialogue and facial animation, which allows us to inject some of the meaning and the why to what you are doing as a player. And I think story is integral to Star Citizen as a connective tissue that ties all of these different complex systems together, because it takes players on that journey throughout the game.
To see this big turn this year to start injecting story into the verse, I think people are really responding to it. So everybody knows, and you mentioned just now, that this year we changed a whole lot about how we operate and how we release things. How do you think that's gone?
I think it's gone very well. I think if the mantra that I've always been pushing this year at the beginning of January was patch always goes. And I think this year has seen a different development strategy for how we've been moving the game forward, that's where this different strategy has allowed us to really take a wider approach. And we also have to remember that Star Citizen is played by tens of thousands of players every day. And while we have lofty future goals, we still have to make decisions right now that make the game fun for the people that are playing it all the time, playing it as their daily game. If you look at previous years, we've had to hold a patch back, we've had to make concessions, mainly due to around a feature may not been ready or right to go into there.
There were 3 months, 4 months, sometimes 5 months between patches.
Exactly, and I don't think that's good for anybody. I don't think it's good for the players. I don't think it's good for the development team. I think it's better to have regular cadence of drops. One good example is this year for A Line of Mine. People probably don't know, but A Line of Mine, when you turned on the laser, it was actually supposed to reveal the sandworm Valakar. And I played it, and it didn't hit the quality that I wanted to go into the game. So we changed, and I took it out, and I made that decision alongside Chris and Erin, and we've held that back, and we're going to work on that towards a future patch. But I think definitely the more regular cadences has had the multiple benefits, and like I said, I want to dispel a myth right here, right now. Like, features are still being worked on quite heavily in the background, from radar and scanning, and FPS, the new quantum, to inventory, engineering, and crafting, and all of those features are going to be coming very, very soon for players to get their hands on. And, you know, I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to sit here and say that if I was to go back to the start of the year, I would hope that we would have released more features. But I also think every decision we've made this year has been through the lens of making the live experience as stable and as good as possible.
Absolutely. All right, so that's a bit about the year before. And the year before has been, I've said this before, I've said it internally, I've said it out there, I'm going to say it right now again on camera. I think this has been the best year of Star Citizen ever. And I'm willing to look right into the camera and say that. The player numbers are up, engagement numbers are up, the length of the play sessions are up, bug numbers are down, 30K is gone. It's been a solid year. But Citizencon isn't Citizencon without talking about the future. So I want to move us to the future. We've talked about story. We've talked about this more diegetic, immersive universe and adding voice lines and stuff like this. But where do we go from here? Obviously that continues, but what more are we going to do to make this universe seem alive and real and breathing?
I think the biggest thing is to start having that conversation be two-way. So if you think about this year, like you mentioned, we've having fully voiced NPCs, but a lot of those missions and those NPCs, they're talking to you, they're talking at you. Right. You don't get to talk back to them. Now, obviously, you get to interact with them through your actions, you get to go and do their mission, and you get to move that along, and then they talk to you again. But it's a one-way conversation.
We're missing that conversation wheel.
Exactly. The next part would be physical mission givers. That's something that we're going to be working towards very soon, with Battaglia being the first one coming back in the verse. And just to be clear, we will be bringing all the mission givers eventually back, and we want them to be an integral part of the verse and the story that players go and enjoy. We want the locations to be brought to life, and as we mentioned last year, we want to have interactive scenes that you can go and be part of. And obviously the full end goal is towards, you know, to have cinematic stories in the game, and that is what we're going to be pushing towards. Everything we do, every decision we make is through the lens of moving us closer to 1.0. It might sometimes be difficult to see why those decisions have been made at the time they've been made, but rest assured that Star Citizen 1.0 is still our North Star. That's what we're still aiming towards, and that's what we're going to be moving forward with every patch next year as well.
I'm remembering when mission givers were first introduced, they sometimes became a bottleneck. Is there a role in instancing, which we learned about earlier today? Is there a role for instancing in that, in helping with mission givers?
Yes, partially. It will be one mechanism that will allow us to have players go to their own individual area of the verse, have that conversation, and then go and continue on into the open world environment. So I think that's where, when we look at instancing provides us one tool that allows us to remove that bottleneck and provide a more seamless experience.
Happy you said that, because that's one of our last topics I want to get to, is how we reconcile instancing with the persistent universe. Like, for the last 10 years now, we've been building this giant, seamless, persistent universe where everybody can come in and play together. And it would be easy to have a first instinct reaction to the idea of instancing and say that's antithetical to everything that Star Citizens. But you mentioned last year these 3 pillars of building Star Citizen in the PU, and I want to know, you said nothing changed, but I want to ask you about this specifically. What are those 3 pillars again, and how does instancing fit within the greater design of Star Citizen?
So the 3 pillars I mentioned last year were open world. That's just like the missions you love today. You can go and play, there's other players there, and you can go and enjoy that together. Then we have instancing, which I'll talk about more, but similar to municipal works that we've talked about previously. And then the third pillar was dynamic content, which would be content that's generated by the activities of the players. And I think it's very easy to become myopic around one specific thing when we're talking about it a lot, when it's the next stage of our development. And I think you could reverse it. If we'd have made a game that was all instance, and then I'd come on camera and said, hey guys, we're going to start doing it open world, it would be like, oh, is the game changing? Are we doing open world now? Is open world the new North Star that's going to take us this way? And it's not. It's just one more tool that's going to allow us to offer different and dynamic experiences for players to go and engage in. Now, when I talk about instancing isn't always what you'd imagine as a solo instance experience where it's only just you. We're going to have several different versions of instances. Some are going to be closed instances, which will be like the new player experience. We'll be able for you to go in by yourself, for us to teach you the ropes in a safe environment so that you can understand how to play the complex game that we've made. But we'll also have open instances like a cantina or a bar where we might say, hey, we only want 50 people to come in here because we've got mission givers and we've got other NPCs for you to talk to, and you would just walk in and it would be seamless. You wouldn't know that there was an instance, you're not going to get a loading screen, you would just seamlessly walk into that location, it would be full of other players and NPCs, and you can go and enjoy the content. And that's, I think, something that instancing is going to provide us. It's going to give us a tool to offer different dynamic content, or curated content, as I'd say. It allows us to create experiences that are different to the open world experiences that we've already made. And it's not to say that we won't continue our open world development or only do instance content. It's going to be a mix. And like I said, this is one of the pillars that will move us towards 1.0. We will eventually work on dynamic content that will move us towards 1.0. And all 3 of those pillars will interweave to create the full Star Citizen experience.
All right, so we've hit a lot of the bigger topics, the feature work, engineering, and FPS crafting coming to tech preview soon, stuff like this. We've talked about instancing and how that's going to work within the universe. But I want to ask you this one last big one. It's very easy to say Star Citizen is this kind of game and that kind of game. Those of us who spend our days making it know better. It's an everything game. It's everything we can make it game. It just is. But at the core of this is still spaceships. That life of spaceships. What more can you tell us about spaceship gameplay in the future? What can you give us? What can you tee up for us to look forward to for those of us who are really into Star Citizen for the spaceships?
Our intentions going forward are to make sure that every ship or ship archetype that you acquire has a role and has content that you can go and enjoy in the universe. For example, right now I know that we're working on more robust mining missions, more robust salvage missions. We're going to be working on refueling missions. And we want to make sure that each and every one of the ships has a purpose and has a reason to exist in the game. That's from the smallest Argo MPUV, as well as ground vehicles, all the way up to the large capital ships. We want to give them purpose, and I think it's something that we are absolutely aware of. We want to make sure that we're building that spectrum of content to allow players to go and engage in, and I think 2026 is going to be a very good year for Star Citizen, and I think there's going to be something that's very interesting and something that a lot of people have been waiting for, but rather than me spoil it, I'll let Ian and the team go into the details on that.
Yeah, twinkle in his eye. Ian,
Take it away.
That he did. A space for spaceships.
So the persistent universe has existed for over 10 years now. During that time, we've created lots of gameplay systems, we've added hundreds of locations, we've added lots of mission activities for different purposes: combat, cargo, mining, salvaging. But for combat ships, the only thing you've been able to do is fight other combat ships. In 2026, this changes. We're going to be delivering a spaceship focused activity space which incentivizes the use of different gameplay roles. These are going to be scenarios where you're going to have to plan and strategize and create operational tactics to overcome your objective. So what you're going to see is very early. It's early in the pipeline process, and it's going to come online about mid next year. But we're really excited about the content we're creating, so we want to share with you a super early look at what we're building in a space we're calling Tactical Strike Groups.
The People's Alliance are still trying to get to the bottom of what this new faction is really doing in the Nyx system.
They've sent a capital ship to check out a station and run it into more than they can take care of themselves.
Unfortunately, that team came under attack and members of their groups were taken hostage. Now they've reached out to Intersec, who've reached out to you to help recover the pilot. Of course, it's unwise to do this alone, so you'll need to put a team together to attack the station.
When you arrive, you will have this big asteroid, kind of broken asteroid, and on this you will have this base where you will find 3 big arms. You will see in the middle, you will have this big energy core. Everything here has a purpose. It's not just for the show, just something nice to see.
You'll see a People's Alliance owned Idris that's just on the outside, and it's going to be getting harassed by this unknown faction that you have met before.
So your first objective here is to clear out the ships. There'll be waves of these ships, so this is where you want your light or your medium or your heavy fighters, whichever playstyle you prefer.
So while one part of your group is dealing with the fighters, now it's time to actually assault the station.
This station has been outfitted to resist all of the obvious way of attacks.
Somehow they've incorporated
what's going on?
killing turrets. These turrets ignore small fighters, and they have the firepower to destroy even the biggest capital ships.
Your Polaris and your Idris, if you get it close, it will get shredded. The idea of these is so we can sort of make it so we can mix up that ship combat, and not everyone can just bring the biggest ship and win just because they have the biggest ship.
You have to send out your best pilots to
That's a big
navigate
laser.
the superstructure
Jeez.
and take down anything that may damage your bigger ships. So at this point you're thinking, destroy the turrets. But it's not that easy. This turret has shields that you've never seen before. It won't take any kind of damage. Your missiles won't do anything, your lasers won't do anything, your ballistics won't do anything to them. But like everything, they do have a weakness. You have to cut the power to their shields. To do that, that actually brings you to your first objective, the power relays.
So
the
right now they're
exterior has a number of
explaining how
power
this
relays
mission's going to
that
work.
are holding the
that
doors
they're
closed so
planning
you
on
can't
adding
get in.
You
next
have
year.
to find them, you have to target them, and you have to destroy them.
It's kind of
But
cool though.
It may not be as easy as it seems.
Here's our first wrinkle. The power relays have their own shields that are resistant to energy-based attacks.
We know how much you like using laser repeaters, but so do these guys.
Capital ship can't get close enough because of the turrets.
So ships with explosive or ballistic ordnance will be needed here. That's torpedo ships like your Retaliator or Gladiator. or even another fighter with ballistics loadout, that's going to take you a while.
Nice
Once the
bombing
power relays
missions.
have been taken down, the station opens up.
And this is where things get really cool.
Now it's time for you to fly your ship inside the station.
Yeah, you, in your ship, fly into the superstructure of this station.
How cool is that? I feel like this is a proud dad moment. Thank you, Jared.
We're just going to call it what it is. It's a trench run.
Trench run.
Oh, this looks sick.
So as you enter the structure, you'll see cooling units along the sides that you'll need to take out. There's 3 arms to the station that have these trenches. You'll fly into one, and then there'll be a core in the center, and then you'll move out another trench.
You're either gonna do it multiple times, or you need to bring friends.
At this point, the core is still protected, so these are essentially strafing runs.
There are objects to avoid. You're going to have to be able to dodge. You're going to have to move quickly. You need an agile ship.
Because the shield generator that you're targeting is emitting lots of distortion damage.
So once the cooling units are out, that exposes the core to overheat, which means that you can attack it from the inside and also from exhaust ports on the outside of the station. This core is armored and just takes a whole lot of damage. Once the power core goes down, the turrets come down, and then the capital ships can get closer. Why is that important? Because during all of this, you spend a lot of ammo and munitions and ballistics, and you're going to want to top up.
This is where we're gonna get our new feature in: ship hangar refueling and rearming.
Nice.
You're gonna be able to land in the hangar of select ships and be able to use the same
That's
interface
fucking
as you are
sick.
right now
About
at
fucking
stations to refuel and rearm.
It's specifically for ships like the
Space
Idris
Ops.
and the Polaris and other ships that are designed to have other ships.
Listen to how they
inside them.
sound too. That new
Unfortunately, more
audio
than just those
stuff.
two
Holy
ships,
crap.
And you'll find out more once we get closer to release. But this is a really important feature that we're really excited to get out.
If you're not bringing your own Idris, the People's Alliance has a Idris there that can provide a safe port in a storm, allow you to set back up and head back out.
And it's a good thing that you've rearmed and refueled too, because now another group of ships is coming to attack the People's Alliance Idris. So while the fighters are protecting the Idris, what's happening at the station? Well, that's where the dropships come in.
Now you've got to take a fire team in. You've got to land, you've got to fight through an onslaught of FPS enemies that belong to this unknown faction, and you've got to open a hangar door which will allow you to release captives from the station.
It's an everything mission. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is gonna
After
be
you've opened
fucking
the doors
insane.
and that person's taken off, you've just got to make sure they get to safety.
So at this point, all of this sounds pretty simple, but there's an additional complication.
So up until this point, it's just been you versus the enemies in the station. But the enemies in the station have their own enemies.
The Vandal?
The Vandal neighbors who really don't like these guys for some reason will come in and wreak havoc on everything.
And they're not going to discriminate between you and the station. They're out for blood. When you alert the Vandal by destroying the power core that the station's now vulnerable, you're on a time limit. Vandal are coming, they're going to come hard, they're going to keep coming, you're going to have one hell of a fight.
Oh, no.
No way.
No! No, 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 no. Wait.
Now that wasn't a king ship, but that was a big ass.
Yeah.
Vandal.
Tactical
something.
strike groups. And personally,
That was
so
the
invested in this.
torpedo
So throughout 2025,
ship.
we created
Big
a variety
fucker
of
with
content.
the
Some of it was
I think that's the one that killed the
So
Pulsar.
driving a more vehicle-based experience was very important to me. This is a defining
It's the
statement
one
of what I
that
wanna do in
drove.
2026.
It's got
For a
the
spaceship
big laser
game,
beam
there are prized
on the front of it.
possessions to the
That
objects we
tore
fall in
through
love with.
the
This is the content we want to create, which
hammerhead.
creates scenarios and roles for you to use those spaceships. We won't get to all roles initially, but we should see this as a landmark, a position where we can see a gameplay space which incentivizes the use of different ships and scenarios to clear objectives and complete missions in a variety of roles. And in the future, we can use this to expand on. So I hope you're all just as excited as I am for tactical strike groups. They're gonna be fantastic.
Yeah.
It would also be interesting if for the missions, you accepted the mission so you only did your role, like the pilot for the transport or the ground crew.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you still have the puppet? John, come home. All right, so tactical strike groups. It's been a long road for the last 10 years. The PU's been around. We've done lots to build stuff for mining ships and for salvage ships. And as Rich said, we're currently building out even more for those. And our first refueling missions coming online in 2026. But combat missions. Oh, hi, Aaron Roberts. But finally having enough of the foundation in place that we can begin to build real spaceship operations, in any other MMO they'd call dungeons. It's really exciting for me, and that's why we're ending the show this year with that. So yeah, that's been Citizencon Direct. Thank you for taking the time to share this with us. Again, this is just a glimpse at some of what's coming in 2026. I've seen the Twitch chat and the YouTube chat like, oh, you're spoiling everything. I promise, we ain't. So before we let you go, that's it for me. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as with every CitizenCon, the last word shouldn't be mine. It should belong to our founders and CEO. So take it away, Chris Roberts.
I hope you enjoyed this glimpse into some of what the team is cooking for the near future. Of
I like
course,
that they
we're
have it
not going to
scripted
spoil
and
everything that's
recorded.
currently in progress.
Yeah.
And many features we haven't discussed today are in active development, like base building, social, and trade tools that are very much a priority. These, along with bringing the final polished features from Squadron 42 into the persistent universe, will make next year the most exciting yet for Star Citizen. Finally, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to everyone at CIG for working so tirelessly and with so much passion to deliver something that is already special and will only get more so as we continue. And of course, to all of you for making all this possible with your support and feedback. We couldn't do this without all of you, something that I and the team appreciate every day. We are very lucky to be allowed the time and the money to build a game of all of our dreams, something that is only more apparent as the video game business becomes more monolithic. We are one of the few large independents left standing, and there is no way we would be allowed to dream as big as we are on an original game and take the time to achieve that dream if we were part or funded by any of the few remaining mega game companies. So thank you, and I look forward to seeing you all in the verse this coming year.
That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Some good stuff there. So I guess the patch which with the new ships and the all the new shit's coming in a week, and then next month they'll have the playtest for crafting.
Yep. Isn't that neat?
So we ain't getting nothing this week.
Yeah, I'm a little.
No ironclad. No.
Well, the ironclad's a long shot, but I mean, maybe. I mean, there's some other ships that are still in the pipeline that are really expected to come out at IAE.
All right, everybody.
IAE,
I'm
yeah,
going
it's only a
to
month away.
end the stream here. You guys have a good one. We might be back later today.